that I'm talking. Personally, I think I'm a millennial. Well, it doesn't matter at this point who is what. I think the common goal is better Kenya for Kenyans. But of course, the older generation who are older than me, and when you're chatting with them, you can feel that religion or anything. No, they can keep their religion, but they have to know the boundaries. You have to know when somebody is coming in the name of religion, trying to deceive you, because that's what happened for these people to get into office. They told us about God, 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 and the next minute they are in office, and look what is happening. So we need to differentiate between religion.
I think because we are having issues with the space, and this might drop, KOT will host us. He's just starting his space just now, spinning up a space. KOT, you there? Hi, Afro, you there? Okay. Welcome back. We couldn't hear you, sorry.
KOT yako hapo? KOT, are you there?
Yep, niko. the country that there's no need for you to tell me or for the government to tell us that you graduate. I saw a video of Gachagua in one of the universities during the graduation ceremony, or Steele and Florence Bore. They were saying since there are no employment opportunities in Kenya, go work abroad. When you go to that portal that they're advertising, need jobs, housemaids or whatever. So why should I go with my degree to Saudi Arabia, do in Saudi Arabia to take me back to my country? Na nikikuja still, your mind is tortured. You get sleepless nights because those guys who are there, the things they go through, and when they speak them out, no one hears them. And hata wakikuja Kenya, they spend so much money going for counseling. So tunafaa ku take back our country. We call for a state where it is youths who are in power, not taking the president out of the seat. No, he remains the president. Sisi tukuwe ndo tunasema the leaders that we have in parliament what we call democracy. Democracy is government for the. It cannot be government of an outside force. It should be government for the people, of the people, and by the people. So, and to finish up my submission, is of the people who lost their lives, like in David Chege. I want to just say to the families, poleni sana. Your relatives or your sons and daughters, they've died fighting a good fight. How I wish they would have been here to see the country that they were fighting for come to fruition. Because with how things are turning out, how our leaders are realizing, kumbe ni kunoma venye sio venye tumekuwa tukioperate the country, we should, they should have been here to see this happen. To finish up on the issue of CDFs, senators have been managing without CDF. The primary or the core objective of an MP or a senator is to make laws, to legislate, no, to make laws, legislate, to represent and to oversight. Historia CDF is an act of parliament.
Thank you, Sam Chege. Thank you. Okay.
if unajua watu wengi wetu sasa wenye tuko kwa hii space hadi unapata kuna wase wako diaspora, kuna wase wako, unaona kama kuna wase wengi wako hapa kwa major towns or cities, but sasa unaangalia there are also other smaller towns, villages kubwa sana, that's an idea I'm giving out. Waambie you offering civic education on how wanaibiwa, waambie, si to beat around the bush atuanze kuambia sijui on what, waambie, tumia ile language unaweza. Penye tumefika hadi mzazi wako three minds, one mekana, 3 heads are better than one. Mkiwa umeungana tu watu watatu, that's civic education. Villages kuna kuwa na mafield, kuna Kirinyaga. Kama walikuwa wasema ati watu wa mlima wanafaa kutengeneza political party moja,
I see Brenda. Brenda, you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Please take the time is yours.
Yeah, nilikuwa nishaongea but naweza endelea kabla upate hao watu
No.
wengine. Kama
Hapana. Let us give the others a chance. Naona Keith. Keith, are you there?
Ephraim.
Yes. Yes, please.
So, in this organization, your churches will represent members. So those people will reconstitute the IBC. I don't think kuna eneo mmesikia youth wametajwa. Why? Because we don't without having a structural body, itakuja kuwork against us. And I'll be talking. Sama ako shule. Kwa hivyo sisi wote kwa hii group tumesoma. The best way to move forward is to study history. Study people who have done what we are trying to do. Study Nelson Mandela, study Che Guevara, Fidel Castro, the likes. To recall the Intwakwai. Because IBC, the people nominated, serve the interest of the people who have nominated them. That is why you had a split IBC. Okay? So my agenda, my first take would be, let's first of all get ourselves on the table of IBC. How do you get there? Politicians and leaders. Your negotiation currency is numbers, it's people. Do we have the number? Do we bring these numbers together to form a block? This block is what we are going to go and say, we are here 7 million strong. And we are saying there's no way we are going to constitute IBC without us being represented. That would be my first take. My second take would be, how do we get young people into employment? Because tuko na vitu mingi sana zinawake.
Yeah. And Jesus is Lord.
All right. Thank you, Kolo, for pushing your message.
Jinga, but tukikosa plan tutakuwa wajinga zaidi. That's my take. I didn't want to take much of your time. Sikuwa nataka kuongea sana. So that's just it.
Thank you very much. Those are very good submissions. I think it's
away here from Poland. Prepared to face that kind of treatment. And I can tell you, my friends, it is not pleasant. Number two, I want to come back to what I wanted to contribute. And those, it has come to attention that the laws they are passing actually are not formulated in this country. They are formulated somewhere abroad. For example, the system sent emissaries here. I don't know, the missionaries, the church. The church is at the center of this thing, or all this conspiracy. So you have a machine which has been in existence to suppress voices such as yours is the killings, the abductions, the intimidation, the coercion. They buy someone here, they buy someone there, they threaten someone here, they threaten someone there. But when you stand your ground, and that's why I want to applaud the Gen Zs, stand your ground to government of national unity. And people are crying about Nusumkate. For God's sake, Nusumkeka. They were in Mombasa and someone failed to put for them a carpet and they were furious. For God's sake, we need to wake up in Kenya. We need to put more pressure. We need to ensure these people are not sleeping. Give them a run for their money. So we have a machine here that has been in existence for over 150 years. And it is getting better at what it does. So if you're not strategic the way I've had someone say here, and if we don't know where the real and what the real problems are in Kenya, we might be fooled that when we send someone home, we have solved the problem. We might be fooled when we send a certain group of people home, we have solved it. We need to audit. And this is where I want the Gen Zs to put emphasis. We need to audit all the accounts of Kenya from 1963. For example, why didn't we implement, or why was sessional paper number 10 of 1960, I don't know, 65 or 63, never implemented? That was the first development, I don't know, the first development plan for Kenya after independence. And then there were other plans until we have now Kenya Vision 2030. Imagine we have Kenya Vision 2030, and I never heard Uhuru mention Kenya Vision 2030. Only in conferences where they go to get per diem and all these things. After the per diem, these guys disappear and they put the reports in the shelves, and we continue with the same systematical errors. These are systematical errors that were started with our founding fathers. Founding fathers who had no vision other than looting, enriching themselves, amassing wealth while the majority of the population is languishing in poverty. Now they are telling you Gen Zs to come to Europe, to go to America, to go to Asia. I can tell you for free. I'm about to end my submissions, but for free. Let nobody fool you around. Let nobody play around with you that the grass is greener this side. These people don't like you. In Poland, where I was, there is a church in every square kilometer. We have like 2 churches, beautifully made, beautifully decorated. But these people don't go to church. I didn't them go see these people waste time in church the way we waste people. Love us the way the Bible says. They don't love Africans. They want you to go and build your country. For God's sake, build your country. I can tell you for free, if I'm given a certain amount of money now, I would rush back to Kenya and invest there. You are 10 times better when you have invested in your country. If you have a business in Kenya and you are making like 100K per month, and you've paid your bills and everything is good for you, you are 10 times better than a Kenyan in the diaspora. Some people here are going through a lot of Hell, my friend, if I'm given time and I'm told to explain what people go through here, you'll be shocked, my friends. So me, I want to tell the Gen Zs, focus. Don't be distracted by this drama you're seeing from KICC. Do not allow yourselves to be distracted by, I don't know, these traitors. Focus on the real problems that are affecting Kenyans. And there are three. Since 1963, we have had three problems, and they are poverty, disease, and ignorance. Once we kill that, the person in the village will be singing the same song as you in town. Once you kill disease, I mean, people will be productive. But these guys, they want those three problems to continue to evolve. You see, they are evolving into serious things, and that's why we are in the deep shit we are in. So we need to focus, we need to be strategic, because you are dealing with a machine that has been in existence for 150 years. We need to come up with strategies. We need to use small axes to cut this big tree down. Don't have mercy on these people. And I can
and those who support our ideas. That is similarly to a party, because an association means that you belong to this association. Which association? The Gen Zs, the people who believe. And I want to thank everyone. I see everybody is focused on changing Kenya to be a better place and a better atmosphere for everyone, because none of these guys, even those who are in diaspora, is happy to be in diaspora. Home is the best all the time. So I want to note a few things actually. At independence, if all of you can be keen, at independence we had so many functioning industries, the textile industry, the cotton industry, you can name them, all of them. But today, most of these industries collapsed. Most of those industries collapsed. They are no longer functioning. The remaining industries which remained, the sugarcane and the other sectors like agriculture, you see how many scandals are there. All the sugar industries, most of them collapsed and others are on their knees. And this is because of corruption. You look at what is happening in police force. Right now, even for you to join police, you have to buy. You have to sell land to go and join police. You have to sell land to go and join KDF. When we talk of corruption, we should not just minimize on a few things. This whole government is rotten, and we have to clean it up step by step and everywhere. Even the current, thing that amazes, that shames everybody, even the TSC that used to have some sort of sanity, today politicians are selling appointment letters, and they are now the employers of teachers. You wonder on what merit or what criteria do they have to employ even a teacher? What do they know about a classroom? Oscar Sudi, somebody who never stepped in a class, he's not even among the TSC commission, he's not an HR person, is signing letters for teachers to appoint teachers, to employ teachers. Machogu himself was dishing letters in a funeral. So you see, this is a government that we have. No, no. And when you say that we have to join the table, we have to be on the table, that means that actually we have accepted to also join the looters, to join those people who are already wrecking this country. We can just maintain that these are our irreducible minimums, that we do not want this, and any person who commits corruption, since we have phones, should be visited by violence, should be shamed on all platforms, and we should not fear to speak truth to the power. No, no. The other thing that actually messes us up is this issue of money in campaigns. Money in the church, money in campaigns, money everywhere. I remember my grandfather used to tell me that during their days, when a politician could come to campaign and give them money, that was a sign of bribing them. That was a sign of showing that he is not qualified, he is not capable. Now he's buying favor. You understand? He's not fit for the job. Now today, we have accustomed to that culture, and we have taken that culture to be like, it is a norm. If you don't have money, you can't be elected. That's how we end up, electing funny guys, funny, characters like Sudi again. Funny characters like this guy from Kimilili with a cup, Didmas Baraza. Yeah. Funny guys like the other guy from Sirisia called John Waruke, someone who has been, who is supposed to be in jail, but because he's in government, he's always, in favor of the government is always releasing him whenever he's jailed. He's supposed to be jailed. He was jailed for 8 years, but he's serving in the parliament of Kenya. Now, when we look at these things, we have to know that at this particular point, at independence, we had so many industries working and functioning. Today, none of it is working, none of it is functioning. Look at the oil in Turkana that was discovered in Turkana. We don't know what happened. Maybe the whole project is not working. Look at the SGR, the scandal that happened on SGR, and even the current price of SGR from Mombasa to Nairobi was hiked at 1,500. So that means that even private operators, the mama mboga, mtu wa kawaida hakuna. Look at the education system. Hiyo mambo ya bursary, the way you say, bursary should be abolished. A culture of dishing money in political rallies so that we can elect competent people who can serve us.
here blindly without a focus and without knowing exactly what we're doing. For example, right now as we sit here, there's actually a public participation.
Afro, can I speak?
A scholar is speaking. You can't hear her speaking? Miriam.
Okay. I'm saying, as we sit
Okay,
here,
if I
there's
can't
a
speak, you
public
can.
happening today at the KICC for the Amboseli National Park and its management to be moved to be under Kajiado County. We all know counties have been. One slot. We have the parliamentary, I'm just trying to look for it very quickly. Parliamentary commission has been given, I think, 3 slots. Okay, here it is. Parliamentary Service Commission, 2 slots. Political Party Liaisons Committee, 3 slots. LSK, 1 slot. Your Certified Public Accountants, 1 slot. Na religious groups, but anyway, it doesn't speak much to anything. It reduces the terms of the secretary, the commission. Once the commission has been set, they appoint a secretary. Then your Mahoya ID can be evaded, because how do you explain that your youth who, according to the national census, who are one vote are not voting? And so that is maybe one progression that I see under this. But anyway, I really like the idea of us identifying Us lamenting, let's also be in these other spaces where things are moving. Because as we are lamenting, bado wanaendelea kufanya fishing. And if we are here lamenting, Amboseli might just go in under the leadership of
They cannot be able to hire workers. They are health workers on strike. They are not being paid. They cannot be hired. I even saw TSA threatening not to pay July salaries for the teachers. Everything you look at, every institution is falling apart. The parliament was breached.
whether the machine has it properly, or we need to oil it a bit more. etc into the IEBC, and let's start there so that we can start learning from there. The guys who've already gone to court and started lobbying for certain things to be pushed, that's good. Let's keep hyping and let's keep following up on that. But so to say is we need to start normalizing celebrating our wins. We need to do that, because I also feel like there is a spirit where we keep feeling every day we wake up there is something we still haven't done, and I always say life force is limited, willpower is limited, it is exhaustible. So if we only see what hasn't been done or the length that we need to walk or climb up that mountain, we will lose sight haraka. So we need to start celebrating our wins and celebrating ourselves and extending love and compassion and empathy to ourselves. And lastly, I have been thinking, and I've liaised with some of you on having a space where I'm going to coach. I'm offering my coaching services to people because I've spoken to someone close to me who was telling me they went to Mandamano because they lost a job. They were fired and they had been jobless for months. And that person's mental health was messed up. Today, I was in one person's timeline, sorry, I forget the names, and he was asking men how their mental health is, and I was so sad to see how much people are going through, especially most people kept saying the same thing. I went for this Mandamano because I was in a bad place, so it was like a venting. I was just going to Mandamano to vent. And now it hit me that it was true. It wasn't an isolated case of my friend. Therefore, and then that person was also saying, sasa kwa sababu maandamano imeisha, I'm back in my cubicle and I don't know what to do. My point is we need to start also giving attention and focus to mental health of our youth as well. We might be surprised how much percentage of the people were not going there for the finance bill, but just to vent out their frustration. So I will continue.
You can go on.
Nanisikia?
Yeah, tunakusikia.
Asante kunipa mic. So my fellow Kenyans and my fellow criminals, we are winning, tunashinda na tutashinda. So let's keep up. The other thing is we are all leaders. We are all leaders. Let's not focus, just like the previous speaker amesema, let's not focus on nani anaongoza wapi. Let's just keep tabs of how we're winning. We are winning. So everybody, if we want to lead in 1,000 different directions, let's do it. So the other thing is let's support all the leaders. Amani county level, amani just one particular area, nini. We know at the end of the day that RUTO and the current crop of leaders, and the current crop of these people in Kenya cannot lead Kenya vile tunataka. So we know the goal, the primary goal ni kuwatoa wote, even if it's going to take 3 years. So, however, in the meantime, there's so much rot, like kumesemekana, there's so much that is so wrong in so many levels. So there's more thousands of things we can be in the meantime be managing to fix. I'm pointing attention while we usher these guys out of office. Yeah, hopefully sooner, but in the worst case scenario, in 3 years from now. So I think it's continuing to kumulika wawezi, kuweka pressure everywhere. The other thing is the way things are economically, nanini, I think we all have to be prepared for sacrifice, a lot of what needs to be done. First of all, these people are so corrupt. I don't think they're going to stop being corrupt the next 3 years. Maybe they might even decide juu watasema, hatulipi tax, kwa hivyo hakuna pesa ya kufanya anything. Meanwhile, they could be using all sort of mechanisms kuendelea kuiba. Lakini wakumbuke, any law that is broken looking back, I think one of the things, if we're gonna change Kenya for good, I think one of the lessons is that forgiving criminals, tulifanya when Moi left, I think it's a lesson to be learned. I think once people know that they can do whatever, and when things change, Gavampi Kikuja, they'll get away with it. This will continue. Kenya, we have 55 million going to 100 million in the next few years. We can't continue having this. So even whoever is doing whatever their criminal acts, hata wanye wako hapo wanasikiza. If you're a criminal, just know you've been breaking laws, you're killing people, you're stealing, you're doing whatever. We will come for you when we're done. There is no forgiving. You better make sure you cover your bases. But anything prosecutable, no forgiveness anymore. Iyo tumetosha. I think we have to hold a stand. That's the only way even the countries have managed to get rid of this kind of impunity in Nini have been able to do it. There is no getting away. So no forgiveness. So in the meantime, let's build bench strength. Kama ni host, kama ni mtu anasaidia the movement in any way, let's support them. Hosts, tujenge hosts wengi. Let's make sure that there is no way for these people to silence us. And the other thing is, these people don't need, and I know somebody was saying, oh, let's have peaceful protest on Sundays. Lakini hapana, let's protest in any day we want. After all, we are prepared for the sacrifices. It's not too much to sacrifice for 3 years if we have to hard times to get these and change Kenya for good. Kwa hivyo protest iendelee anytime, whenever leaders, there is leaderless. Kwa hivyo whenever people want to feel you want to protest today at your local county government, that's up to you. We fanya vile unataka kufanya. We gotta get these goons out of office. Alafu Safaricom, these people are our enemies. Let's protect our privacy. Juana tuuza, So I don't know what they'll do next. Next time they're gonna stop us to kuweza kutumia to move money around or to do whatever it is. Who knows? They are selling your identities, your privacy, nini. Let's use cash. Tuachana na M-Pesa whenever possible. Let's use cash. Let's do whatever we can do to let's defund these people. These people do not deserve any of our money. So all I'm saying is, at the investors, I don't see any point holding any Kenyan bonds until when these guys are out. So in the meantime, I think we are winning to endelea. We need to register as many people. We are only seeking legal constitutional means nobody's here to, we're exercising our constitutional rights. Let's register as many young voters, civic education to endelea. Let's look at all these things. Debt. Let's listen. I don't know, but I've listened to Njigi what he says. All these odious debts, because this thing is a big monster. We need to figure a way to get out of it, or at least figure a good plan. And then let's start thinking about when we get into the government, what we'll do to have jobs and a decent life for all Kenyans. How do we become self-sufficient? How do we grow our own food? How do we produce our own energy? How do we produce our own housing? Not importing it, but actually doing it machinani at the county level, we gotta be sufficient, whether it's at security, defense, nini, all that. We have domestic and foreign enemies. We have to be very thoughtful about how to do it and also improve the life of every Kenyan and every corner. And the only people who can do that is us. No one is going to come and do this for us. We have to do it. We have to. Kijijini kwenyu, if things are not going good, nobody's coming to fix it. Me, I personally don't believe at Igava, at Watu, Nairobi, they're going to have better ideas than you're going to have at your local, whatever your local level is. After your story, sijui, county government cannot be trusted. County government can do anything. I personally believe that it starts from the person. Wewe mtu kibinafsi, be self-sufficient. It starts with you, your family, your kijiji yenu, mtaa yenu, county yenu. It starts from there. Let's move more funds. So when we fix this rot and the county government it's not corrupt, it has good plans, why isn't there even county police? We don't have to be dealing atika kama mnasumbuliwa kwa county yenu unaangalia Nairobi sijui ati nini. No. I need to be able to manage my affairs at my county level. A more devolved government properly devolved government, which is competent, without corruption, economy pango mzuri. That's the way to go. We have to defend our watu kule juu. Hata hizo presidency powers, we need to trip them. At some point, tukifanya referendum or whatever it is in the future, we need to trim them and bring power back to the people, which is bringing power huku chini. And that means power both of governance, security, na hata pesa, hata taxes. Let's most of the taxes ziende kwa local government, watu wajipange kwao, kwa county level na vijiji zao. Asante.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Mnanisikia? I hope mnanisikia. If you are hearing me, give me 100 bana. So nilikuwa nataka kusema before we continue, before nipatie wenye wameinua mkono chanza kuongea, kindly soma hapo juu, Farah Maalim must be arrested, Ruto must go. If unakuja hapa kutetea mtu ama unakuja kutuambia bullshit ingine hapa, sijui tupatie nani chance ama sijui tufanye nini, my friend, you have the wrong group. So unafaa kwanza uanze kujikata mapema. So as we continue, Odera, Mboya alikuwa hapa mbele yako na yeye ni Mboya leo alikuwa hapa mbele yako kama kawaida. So Mboya, you have the mic, as then Odera, alafu mtu mwingine sasa. Na kama umeongea, please kindly drop mic. Kuna watu wengine wanataka mic, so please kindly follow that. So it will be Mboya alafu Odera. Thank you.
Hello fellow leaders, hello fellow Kenyans. I call you leaders because indeed you are. I start by talking about the fact that you've said, we read up above, Farah Maalim must be arrested. The reason you have said so, just for the purposes of understanding, his utterances that if it was him, angekuwa anaua 5,000 people every day, that is the protesters. That is uncalled for. He must be arrested. Secondly, I appreciate that amongst us are wise people, professionals, people with a lot of information. You've done your best to make sure that more understandings get to us. By this, we already know the specific things that even if we manage to succeed in the revolution and be there as the new government of the new Kenya, then it's obvious that many of us know what should be done right. Our aim, has always been said, is to drain the swamp, is to make sure that RUTO must go, including the legislature, the executive, and his cabinet. So, without many words, I'm really saying that we need to focus and be more organized. Indeed, by God's grace, we've been organized by a spirit, whereby we find ourselves speaking the same language, acting in the same way, and we don't know how did this happen. Now we need to take it a notch higher and get more organized. Obviously, there are many people whose voices has always been louder in these platforms, both on this X space and in the ground. There are those who have been on this struggle for the longest, and they have just been crying and asking themselves, when will the eyes of Kenyans open and notice that indeed the system of governance that we are in is not the right one? Such people have always been at the forefront. Now, as we talk about organizing ourselves, even if we say RUTO must go right now, if RUTO goes, obviously, we will still need to have an election anyway. So if RUTO can go, even let's say this week, we can have a caretaker government, we can have an election. Then what? What is my point? Is that we must always remember that an election is ahead of us, whether it is 3 years away, whether it's 1 day away, whether it's anything. Now, how can we organize ourselves and make sure that when election comes, the reason as to why we are here, the reason as to why you want a revolution will be sensible at the end of the day. We need to make sure that at least the 8 million registered voters who did not vote this time round, they will get out to vote. What are some of the reasons as to why they did not vote? Some did not trust. They say huwa tunapea Raila na hayashindi. So there are those who always wanted change, but they always do not go to vote. Number two, there are those who lost trust in the system of governance na wakasema hata tukipiga hakuna change itakuwa. So we need to get such people back so that when we will go to election, we will start with the straight 8 million that will be there, plus at least 2 other million who will register as new voters, plus us who voted. Those who divided our votes, 7 million to RUTO, 6 million to RAILA. Let's give them 4 altogether. The remaining 8 other million, if you can add it, we can win an election with over 18 million. So our focus should be, let us intensify civic education. Let us get back and start reading the Constitution to people from page 1 day by day as we explain. I'm talking of what I'm already doing. Secondly, let us tell these people that this time round we are draining the swamp. Things are going to be different, and different for better, so that even if election will come in 2027 or any soon, we will be a united team that will win against these people. Also, organizing ourselves, let us focus and have a policy paper. I'm happy the likes of Oyo the 6th is here. I don't know whether he's the 6th president of Kenya. I'm happy that Afrocentric is here, and many other people who have been vocal in championing this revolutionary process. Let us identify such people and come together. Let us identify those who have been fighting at the forefront, the likes of Giuliani. They started talking about this thing kitambo. The likes of King Kaka. Let us bring these people on board. The likes of Eriko Mondi. The likes of Omwansa. The likes of Kasmuel Mkaure. The likes of Shakira Wafula. Let us bring these people on board amongst other professionals. Let us come up with a policy paper. Let us speak one voice, as many as we are. Organizing ourselves and coming together does not necessarily mean that we are going to identify one specific leader that the government can point out and look on how they can corrupt. No. Let's organize ourselves and speak one voice. Let me just leave it up to that point, hoping that majority of you have understood what I was trying to say. Asanteni sana.
Thank you, Mboya. Very nice. Odera, Mboya, if you can drop
Well, I'm dropping straight away. Thank you.
Sawa, asante.
Shukran Masharia. I am not in a position to speak right now, so I'll drop alafu nitarudi juu baadaye. But thanks for the chance. Thanks for the mic.
Okay, hakuna shida. So nani reject you can go, unaweza ongea. Reject
Okay.
finance bill.
Niko poa mkuu, Afrocentric and other people. Good morning. Or is it afternoon? I think it's afternoon. Huku Kisumu hakuna jua, so it look like it's morning. Sorry for that. So I've been going through some things. Actually, looking at what transpired yesterday, the thing that changed the whole system, the whole revolution. I see people are tainting it in different angles. But from my side, from my side, what I can bring about or say that signing or assenting of the IBC act that was in the NADCO report, I think the timely was to bring the pressure and the push that the disease have put across in the country. I want to tell you that we have a president who was now desperate that he could not control the system. Everything was off his hands, and he had nowhere to do what, to sit on. So the best thing he was to do was to bring in the other players, the key players, people that he felt would unite the masses back to its system. So that's why when you saw the likes of RAILA and other people in the gallery, it's like he wanted to bring them into a space where everything stands at the equilibrium. But I want to thank the youth of this country that if we are going to go against all the hordes of the political galleries, do this, know that there are some people who are there to at least divide. Put you across, get into your call, and the call was that some leaders from within Kisumu County who wanted us to do a press briefing supporting what Baba said yesterday. We sat down as the youths and we say, no, you know what? We can't be there to always be a control damage to the system every now and again. So what I want to say is that through your push, one of the NADCO report was successfully assented to. A NADCO report carried 90% of what the youths have been pushing, and bringing RAILA into the picture was only to cage the tension that was high. But I want to tell you that as much as we are going to increase the pressure, and the good thing is that we are devolving it to the different stakeholders in this country. I saw the engineers fact, I saw the young lawyers fact, I saw it in different sectors. We have the Ministry of Health, I saw Ministry of Agriculture. As much as we are going over there, can we devolve it now to the county level? The counties are running very big messes around. This is where a lot of people are dying poor. You become let's say a service provider to a county, and then you don't get paid at the right time. This is where people are dying of depression. You are youth who want to have a job. If you don't know anybody at the county level, even if you have 1,000 qualification, you will not get it. So let's devolve this thing. Lastly, we are leaderless, we are partyless, we are tribeless. Calling for a dialogue always stagnates the process and the thieves continue be in the gallery. Let's continue be inorganic, and I'm very happy today that even 10 people can host different spaces at a time. So when Afrocentric will be having this one for Baraza ya Wananchi, somebody will be holding one for the engineers, another one will be holding for the Ministry of Health, another one will be holding for the students, and you see they will not have to know who to side the bullets to. The other thing that you must also look into now, you've seen how they are disappearing with comrades, especially wale walingia for parliament, recorded the videos. They are looking for the video footage. I think Safaricom is helping them get where you people stay, you, strangle you, leave you when you're maimed or you're almost at your death bay, or even to a point like, see, for example, the one for Denzel, pushed into a river or a quarry. So let's do something about that. Anyway, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you for your submission. So yeah, but those of you who don't understand the meaning of devolution, chenye anasema hiyo ya kukuwa na different spaces, yani kuna ya wananchi, kuna that is a type of devolution. Hiyo ndio type of devolution sasa. So sioni mtu akiinua mkono. So nani anataka? George naona George unaweza ongea. So let's do this. Nimeona George alafu Ayo alafu Revolution. If we can follow that order then kwa sawa.
Thank you, Masharia, for the mic. I think this is one of the longest I've waited for the mic. Nonetheless, I'm excited to be here yet again. Masharia, please confirm that everything is right. I've seen that the hosts, the co-hosts are coming, they're dropping once in a while, and I'm wondering, have you guys been abducted or something?
Wenye walikuwa kulikuwa na tashwishi kidogo, but for now the system is running smoothly.
Thank you for clarifying. Now a lot has been said, and yeah, we are here again. Still, the elephant in the room is Mr. William Ruto. His incompetence, his inability to lead the country. He has been described as a corrupt person. He's a person who's failed in his propensity of conduct. He's a person who has historically been marred with misappropriation of government resources in the office. And we got ourselves here because perhaps we never took our time to analyze what kind of leaders we are, and perhaps we were also trying to be emotional. We were trying to choose him over other people like Raila Odinga. And yeah, I mean, we can talk much about how we got ourselves here. But again, I think we are all awake. We realize what is happening. We realize that we've been cornered. We realize we are dealing with a pathological liar, a person who does not mean what he says. This person came to office. He spent much of the time flying. If the guy is not flying, he's fighting the jet lag, and therefore he could not be at any point get a chance to get in reality, get in touch with the reality, with the state of the nation. He's running an economy on autopilot, like a person who is totally mad, a person who does not realize that so many people are looking up to him. There's a lot of expectations, a person who really does not care. Now, what we are seeing lately, the kind of reaction, knee-jerk reaction, the kind of political collusion that is now coming up is something that I described as systemic problem that continuously and perpetually continue to ail our nation. It is one that has always been characterized with betrayal by politicians. People like Raila Odinga, who was a really big rival and enemy as far as political competition for the top job was concerned, have now colluded and have come together so that ultimately the person who suffers here is a common mwananchi. We have seen how he has systematically, played his tactics. The first thing is he dedicated the state machinery, the resources from the coffers, to run a shuttle diplomacy across Africa and come up with a campaign to support Raila Odinga's candidature for some top jobs in the AU, all in the bid to silence and gag him. And ultimately, the person who would suffer is a Kenyan. People have said, for example, they've given an example of how the daughter of Raila Odinga was picked, supported by the politicians, across for a top job, I think in East Africa legislature. All these, when it continues like that and we continue suffering like this, no one will ever stand in and speak for ourselves. The latest development, for example, in the Senate, where the conflict of interest bill 2023 has been supported really well by the politicians across the divide, to say that they can mutilate the constitution in order to support themselves, in order to enrich themselves in a way that will continue to, exacerbate and worsen the situation under which we have been subjected by the politicians, explains very well how a politician is not a friend. Now, we have talked about it again and again, and we know, for example, this is a typical case of a dog-eat-dog society. There's one book that I read that I've really tried to look for, and that book, for information, I was in JKUAT. It's somewhere in the shelves of a library in JKUAT. There are 3 copies. It's called 500 Year Scars between 500 Year Scars was written by one person called Tanjutek. And you can read and you can see clearly, this person talks about how the colonizers came to Africa and how they continued to, subject us to poverty and, all manner of suffering that we went through. And he was talking about an evil society. So he actually calls it to be the white man, and the person who happened to be on the receiving end is what he calls the AA society. That is the African, the Arab, and I think the Asians. So he talks about a society he calls the dog-eat-dog society, where no one takes care of any other person. It's about survival for a few at the expense of the others. And this is the tactic that has been embraced by the politicians in Kenya. And therefore, when we come up with this kind of revolution, it is a very good movement, and it's something that we need to keep on momentum and we should not lose it. Now, we have said clearly that leaderlessness, facelessness, and all these characteristics are some of the virtues that have kept the momentum moving for us. And when we toppled the finance bill 2024, we never needed a leader, and we did it successfully without a leader. But a question has been asked, and I look back at some of the questions that have been, and submissions have been done by people like Anthony Mureithi. I don't know whether he's still here or he's left, but he clearly said, maybe in my own words, but what he said is, we cannot continue like this. There's a person who's just submitted right now, I think, called Tomboya, and he said, we need to organize ourselves. We need to really know we have had our chance to vent out anger and rage. We have spoken about our problems, but now we need to start thinking about solutions, and we need to think of how to implement this. One of the speakers we had over the weekend, I think Okia Matata, a question was posed to him, and we said, look here, Senator, we have looked at your profile. We are not suggesting that you become a leader, but say, for example, today we ask ourselves, if you be approached by this movement, right? Say, we want to field you as a candidate for the presidency. Would you be ready? Okiya Mtata listed a couple of conditions. He said he's not ruling out, neither is he ruling in any option, any possibility at the moment. But he clearly said a couple of things need to happen. For example, we need to show him the numbers. Now, the Gen Z, the millennia, the movement, the revolution we are talking about, how many are we? Where, what, what facts do we have that these are not pseudo accounts? These are not people who do not exist. So I really don't want to say I have an answer for this question, but it's a question that I want to put across to all of us. We I need to emphasize the same thing that has been said by the people, submitted previously, that we really need to organize ourselves. We need to have structures. We need to present ourselves in a certain way. While that is said and done, I still want to also to briefly address a couple of things that have also been mentioned by other people. Somebody has said about the IBC, our representations need to be there. We need to express an equivocal voice and have our presence and representation felt. Because he was trying to say that other parties are already present, but we have not been represented. I ask myself this question. The IBC, the commission that's being constituted right now, are you guys telling me that these people are taking partisan position? Are you telling me that what does the constitution say as far as the IBC constitution is concerned? And it's not only the IBC, but he's had boardroom meeting with Mr. William RUTO, and they have agreed that a dialogue needs to happen. Some of the questions we've asked ourselves, we have asked bluntly, clear questions. For example, are you telling me that we need to have a dialogue, for example, to stop or to impede continuity atrocity against the protesters and the young people? And the answer is no. So what we are talking about, I'm alluding to a situation where politicians have hijacked the constitution to interpret it in the manner they want, to mutilate the way they want, to implement partially only when it favors them, and the bits that are clear are being either ignored or mutilated. So we are asking for full accountability by the government. We are calling for full implementation of the constitution, okay, without favor, without fear. And therefore, my point was, we need to use the constitution as the terms of reference for everything that happens, including the constitution of the IBC. So much so that it doesn't matter who takes the office. These people are answerable, they are accountable to the people, and they must be challenged whenever they fail. People like Komtata, for example, among other people, have been able to vie successfully without being represented. If having your person in the IBC is what you call representation, because they sail through as independent candidates. And I believe we should even have a position where we can have an independent candidate run for the office of the presidency based on his policies, based on his manifesto, should be electable without necessarily being associated with a certain political party. And I therefore say, let's call for full implementation of the constitution. Let's use the constitution as our defender and not an individual, because we know an individual, just like how I explained, can be compromised, can be bought, can be killed, can be intimidated, and he can give in. In the words of one Winston Churchill, he said something about the truth, and he said the truth is incontrovertible. It might be attacked or it might be derided by, say, malice or ignorance. By the end, there it is. So for this case, I say, let's use the constitution. Let's use the okay.
Yeah, you should be winding.
Let me wind up. So let's use the constitution as our terms of reference. Let's express full confidence in it. Let's call for full implementation of the Constitution. And to sum up again, I say, let's organize ourselves. Let's have a face right now. Let's show our rage that is based on pure representation of what we are and with clear terms of reference for ourselves. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, so thank you for that submission. Guys, venye tumesema kindly nawaomba. Please can we keep it to the required time limit bana. Watu tupatie kila mtu chance. So Ayo, I think you are next. Yeah, Ayo unaweza chukua mic sasa.
Thank you, very important. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Mimi nataka kujitime 3 minutes yangu inaanza saa hii. Unajua hii ukora, hii corruption inaanzanga. Unapatiwa 3 minutes unachukua 10 minutes. That's corruption. Anyway, nimebaki na 2 minutes 50 seconds. Aya. What I wanted to say is, yeah. What was it? Okay. Here's the thing. I want to talk about police brutality. I wanted to talk about our response towards police brutality and how we can avoid the history of police brutality. Right now, if you guys have seen, there's a policeman, someone from the police force, alifutwa job cause alistand up akasema ati wamechoka neo story ya watu mapolisi kuua watu, like they're killing their brothers and sisters. Someone alifutwa job jo story, kama sijui kama meona ikitrend kwa TL. Yeah, that thing happened. So I want to urge you guys, tukienda maandamano, here's the thing, we need to change the formula and embrace these people. Instead of looking like we are fighting them, let's embrace them. Because at the end of the day, ase nikawa wamepatiwa, to some extent nikawa wamepatiwa, initially walipewa shoot to kill order. That's why a lot of people died and all that kind of stuff. From hizo skirmishes tulikuwa nazo for the past few weeks. So last week venye tulikuwa tumetoka hiyo peace concert, I saw people giving policemen flowers, giving them hugs, wakiwagotea, wakiwapatia maji, nini. What if we took that initiative by, even just getting a moment, tukiwa kwa hizo maandamano tuonge na ma policemen, because they are people like us. The fact that they're in uniform doesn't mean that we should be fearing them. They're supposed to, wanafaa kutulinda, they're supposed to protect us, right? So what if we took a different direction, or rather different approach by, showing these people love and showing them, at the end of the day, tunawapigania. Na pia tuwamekuelewe, guys, we are fighting for you people because they are the main reason why hatuandamani in peace. Juu tunawaogopa, mara tutamwagiwa water cannons, mara tutarushiwa tear gas. And if you guys saw, I have 38 seconds. If you guys saw that CNN video whereby the policeman was directly shooting tear gas to people, like it's like na kushoot ndio nikuwe. Una get like if someone shoots tear gas inaweza kubloia, kama tear gas ilbloia one of those policemen ikawa ni mkono. So you can imagine my 19 seconds goes like this. What if we took a different approach? Yes, tumekuwa in grief, tumejam na wao tena sana, but what if now we took a different approach? My 5 seconds end like this. Because if the change starts with us, if kama si sasa ni sasa hivi. Thank you for my 3 minutes.
Thank you for keeping time. So kuna mtu alikuwa amerequest najaribu kumadi na kataa, alikuwa anaitwa sijui who writer sijui w writer. So kama ni wewe so revolutionary I think mpata kuongea, so I think tunaongea sasa. Revolutionary, are you there? Revolutionary
Hapo.
huko.
Thank you. Nakusikia, you had muted me, pole manzi. Unanisikia?
Tunakusikia. Karibia mic kwanza, karibia mic alafu tuongeleshe.
Okay, sawa manzi. Asante sana kwa hii chance. Kitu ya kwanza Faramad lazima aende kabisa, na ingekuwa hata aende jana, kwa sababu watu kama hao hatuwataki karibu na sisi. And this goes to his boss, that is Wiper, Kalonzo Musyoka, anafaa achukue his due course. The other thing, now the elephant in the room is Ruto must go. Ruto must go kwa sababu mambo ni mingi my friend. Huyu jamaa alianza kutudanganya na rafiki yake Uhuru Kenyatta huko 2013, wakatuambia sijui ataleta laptop. Mpaka leo kuna mtu alipata laptop kweli? Haya, tuka believe his lies. Sasa hizi akakuja akaanza akatuuzia ile manifesto yenye hata tuelewi. Kitu ya kwanza ni mtu anakuambia unaenda job abroad. And kitu mtu ajui, in all European countries people speak their own language. Tuseme unaletwa utaenda Germany ufanye kazi, utaenda ukiangalia shule ambazo zinafunza Kijerumani pale Kenya, there are very few. Ukiangalia shule zinafunza French, there are very few. How many people speak French and German in Kenya? Let us be honest. Utaenda ufanye kazi namna gani? Ama unataka uende university, usome, uende abroad, and then uanze kufanya kazi ya kuosha choo, kubadilisha diaper ya mama, alafu mtu anakuambia nimekutafutia kazi uende ng'ambo. Kitu ya pili ni hii kitu inaitwa house levy. Hii house levy, hizi nyumba zenye Ruto anajenga, nani ataenda kuishi kwa hizo nyumba? Kwanza zitapewa watu wangapi? Kwa sababu wanataka wajenge hizi nyumba alafu wagawane. Ni kama vile Rigathi alikuwa anatuambia na kiburi, akituambia hii serikali ni ya shareholders. Sasa hao shareholder wanakaa chini, wanakuambia nyumba moja, ingine tutapea Mudavadi, ingine tutapea Wetangula. So hawa jamaa lazima waende kabisa kabisa. Then there's another thing yenye Ruto alitudanganya, akatuambia there will be no RAILA. You have been seeing what was happening today. Kuna jamaa pale ambaye amepata pale, he was floating in the river. The only mistake alifanya alienda maandamano. Vitu kama hizo hatutaki kusikia. No, I was listening to this guy, the president of Kenya School of Law. Mambo yenye alipitia under abduction. We should not be living in such kind of a fear. And shida yenye tuko nayo kwa Kenya ni moja. Kenya is one of the most expensive countries in Eastern Africa, in East Africa. Kila kitu ni ngumu, but ukiangalia the rate of employment, watu wanaumia manze. Juzi nilikuwa naongea na rafiki yangu, akaniambia manze, tulikuwa naye Kampo, akaniambia tangu nitoke campus, nimejaribu kutafuta kazi, nimetuma CV karibu 20, sasa nimechoka, kitu nafanya naamka naenda mjengo, narudi nyumbani nalala. Sijui nitaanzia wapi, nitamalizia wapi. Na strategy ni moja. Kama how to achieve Ruto must go. One thing, kama mnajua kitu, if you have ever watched wild beast migration, the wild beast migration, when they are moving from Masai Mara to Serengeti, they move as a group. They go through a Mara River, and that Mara River has full of crocodiles. Now, when they move as a group, the crocodiles even sometimes they are just hungry, but they're just salivating. They cannot even touch one. So we should move like a group, tuchukue like 1 million march, twende pale kwa city, kila kitu ikuwe stand state, tumwambie manze, enough is enough, hii mambo yako hatutaki kusikia, pack and leave. And the only arsenal yenye tutatusaidia in some years to come, vijana wachukue vitambulisho, your ID is your arsenal. Uchukue kitambulisho siku ya kwenda kupiga kura. Kitu kama pombe uachane nayo, sherehe uachane nayo. Utapiga sherehe kama tushachukua, kama tushashinda. But before that, let us be vigilant na tukue pamoja. That is my contribution.
Mnanisikia? Pole, mic yangu ilikuwa imekataa kuunmutika. So hakuna mtu anatuma request. So guys, as you can see what you are promoting here we are revolving around the same thing. Tunapigana against poor governance, tunapigana against corruption, tunapigana against the lack of accountability, na tunapigana venye devolution ya Kenya imefanywa. Those few things nimetaja hapo, wengine wenyu mko na zingine. Hizo ndizo vitu tunapigania guys. So as Kenyans, please guys, watu wajaribu hiyo civic education hiyo ndio sasa shida sasa. Watu wengi sana in the marginalized areas hawajui. Kuna watu wako kwa interior sana, kama watu wako kwa West Pokot. Unajua ukiangalia hizi counties zingine kama kina Mombasa, information kufikia watu wa huko akina Nairobi si ngumu. So guys, if you are able to do that bit, you can please inform those people, wajue inform hao watu wajue venye kunaendelea, wakae rada pia wao juu this is Kenya and everybody is Kenyan mwenye unajua. So take up the mic, naweza kupatia chance. Sunguti Albert, Sunguti Albert, Sunguti. Sunguti hapo kidogo haongei. Sunguti, unaweza nisikia? You can unmute your mic.
Mimi nakusikia.
Yeah, you can mute your mic. Unaweza tuambia maneno kadhaa bro. Unaweza teta kidogo, utu advise kidogo, ulie kidogo, wewe venye tu utadai.
Sawa. Thank you. I want to thank you for giving me this opportunity to talk to my fellow millennials and Gen Zs. So I've been following keenly the conversations that have been taking place since the Maandamanos began up to date. And I want to commend you for the good work you are doing, sensitizing people on any pitfalls that can be coming up so that we can be very much aware on how we can be able to overcome them. So mine are just like 4 points, and I'll be very quick to highlight them. Number one is about being focused on the cause. We are different people from different backgrounds and all that, but let majority of us maintain the focus because our ultimate goal is to have good governance. Good governance. Our issues have been highlighted so many times, and it seems that these elderly guys are not reading the mood of the room. They still want to apply those old tactics of calling people into boardrooms and so on and so forth. I've just seen yesterday, they proposed that the cost of going to that venue, everybody will meet their own costs. Why then should they come with the idea of us meeting our own costs to go to that conversation when during the NATCO report, people are getting huge sums of allowances for the same? I don't think they are speaking, they are representing us. They have their own interests and they want to self-preserve themselves so that they can keep dominating. So it is us to make them realize that their time is up and they need to give us space to do our own things. Secondly, I followed some of the influential people who I perceive to be government bloggers. They are trying to compare they are trying to give two dichotomies, that is either violence or dialogue. I don't think any of the youth who have been protesting from Reject Finance Bill and so on, any of them were violent at all. It is the goons who are hired plus the government machinery that have been applying violence, not the youth. So trying to say that the youth rejecting to dialogue with those people, it's akin to promoting violence, I think that is misplaced. I think we need to amplify our voice to show them that actually that's not what we are looking for. What we want is proper governance. Let them implement the constitution to the latter and do away with convenient friendships or relationships just meant for convenience. Let's say that things that make up for time being, they are not looking at the ultimate goal. They just want to, pacify the country and move on, just to divert people from what they are focusing on. The other thing, the third point is I was not embrace the issue of, picking leaders at this moment and identifying ourselves with the particular political formations, because that is going to give them opportunity to infiltrate us and bring their agendas into ours, and then we may end up forgetting all that. Then lastly, we should not forget the people who have suffered, the people who have lost their lives because of this cause. Should we leave it and should we leave it that is not finished? Then we risk losing the shame, because these guys are waiting to shame us. Tell us, you see, we told you this is how things are going to be. This is how things are going to show them that this is a new dawn where things have to be done differently and things have to be done in the right manner. Things have to be done in the right manner. Then let's avoid the issue of, betrayal. I saw Sam Otero the other day. We had agreed we don't if we are to host the president, then there has to be some consensus amongst ourselves. I agree that each of us has got his or her own perceptions on how things should be done. But because we have a common goal as a group, I think we need to consult more. Let's not take up issues upon our hands because we know we can reach so and so. You do it on your own volition and then try to, come back and say, I'm sorry, what has happened. I think let's avoid that and ensure that we remain focused and we take this to its logical conclusion. Then finally, the issue of RUTO must go. In my opinion, the 1 million march, I don't know what have you, I don't think it is going to serve us that purpose. Let us play the fools whatever for now. Let them reconsider the IEBC. The people from Kabete have led the way. They have started the process of recalling their member of parliament. The best thing for us to do, once the IEBC has been properly reconstituted, let's recall the members of parliament who let us down, all of them, and then put in the members who will listen and do as we, the electorate, demand of them. Then our first thing on the menu will be the vote of no confidence in RUTO. They will have to do it on our behalf because that is what we demand of them. And that is constitutional. But the issue of going to run and say, you must go, I don't think that will work. So that's my take. And I thank you for that opportunity. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you to Mbuji. Thank you for even keeping time. So mimi yangu ni for those who betrayed us, betraying the city. Like mi naweza ifananisha na wale mafala unaambianga ati ukipatiwa milioni mbili, this is for nigga talk, ukipatiwa milioni mbili unaweza patiana simu tu ama upatiwe AMG. Usha value integrity yako with something. Integrity cannot be valued. That's the good thing about integrity. Na unajua Jacob Juma ndiye kiongozi wetu, amesema mambo mingi kuhusu integrity. Integrity should not be compromised. That's the good thing about integrity. It's the overwhelming urge not to get compromised. So guys, don't get compromised. Hiyo 200, hiyo mita mbili. Better days ziko promised guys. Hiyo mita mbili kwani sahi, imagine upatiwe mita mbili in such a situation, in such a Kenya venye iko sahi. Mita mbili sahi itakufanyia nini? Hadi tuseme tu hiyo mita mbili tu tuseme ufungue biz. Unajua shida ya pesa mbaya, blood money haiwezi kusaidia kwende aje ama aje. Na kama if you think na tukusit kwa jaba huku, you can try, unaweza jaribu kuturuka. You think the cries of all these people can go unheard? Hapana, haiwezi endelea hivyo. So next nani anataka kuongea? Cecil 6000, na anataka kuongea Cecil ama 6000? Cecil, mbona umeunmute mic? Unaweza ongea? Cecil 6000 na ama kuna mtu hapo kwa you can add on what you are saying kama haujamaliza, and also kwenye wako kwa listeners.
Yes, you can hear me.
You can also send your report. Yeah, tunakusikia.
Sawa. Sasa hii maneno ya Farah Maalim is just a controversial politician. Ni mtu mwenye anafaa, lakini sasa shida hao watu wake wako na ukabila sana. Those people who come from those regions. Umeona hata juzi vile Gachagua alikuwa na fight na Nurdin Haji. It was something a professional issue. It was not about tribes or religion or something. Farah Maalim convened a parliamentary group of guys from that region, and his statement was not in good. It was in very bad taste. So he's somebody who is not supposed to be entertained in any way whatsoever. So somebody had suggested that they go to Wiper's office, they petition his expulsion from Wiper Democratic Movement. I think that move is long overdue. I remember he has vied for MP seat in 2013 on ODM ticket in Garissa. He couldn't make it. He repeated, I don't know where, he couldn't make it until he had to go to a remote constituency in northeastern there so that he could get that seat. So he has been just stamping that he can be elected on whichever ticket he feels like. So let's enlighten everybody, including our friends from that part of the world, to know that it's their time, because these old folks don't mean well for them. Thank you.
Yeah, nani akona nani akona anything to add on hapo kwa hayo yenye amesema na when you go listeners, you can ask for the panel. Pia wewe unaweza ongea, kila mtu hapa ni mtu wa maana. So I'm requesting if you on the listener, usiogope hao wase ni 1 point kitu. Pia wewe ni mtu wa maana, and we will give you a chance. We see that we may give you a chance. We will give you a chance ya kuongea juu. This is a Kenyan panel for Kenyans. Na mtu yote huyu anataka kuair their grievances hapa. This is a free country. So yeah. Oh, by the way guys, nilikuwa na I wanted to kidogo we diverge on this topic nilikuwa hata tuongee kuhusu statutory bodies kama vitu kama EACC, NCIC, you know, those bodies mandated with doing what we are doing. Unaona kama sasa tuko kwa streets ndio bad governance na corruption na lack of peace. Sasa those are bodies who are mandated, they have been funded to do such work na wafanye hiyo kazi. So I'd like to hear your takes on hizo vitu zote. Sasa guys, tisheni mic, tisheni, napenda venye watu wengi wanaitisha. Thank you guys, yeah, and I'll accept where I can. Na kama utafikiwa kwa ikijaa, tutatoa tu watu wengine tuwaeke sasa. So yeah, hiyo ndio ilikuwa swali yangu. There are bodies mandated to this work. Kuna watu wanalipwa, mtu anaanga akona mshahara ya mwezi, anafaa kupigania haki zako, but these people are not doing what they're supposed to do. So guys, nataka kusikia nyinyi mnasema aje kuhusu hizo vitu. Kina EACC kwanza, ni aje Dani?
I mean kopoa.
Fiti. Unaweza ongea.
Unanisikia?
Tunakusikia.
So it's like situation for now